Thank you, Chairman. Really appreciate everybody being here today. I don't envy the situation that unfolded at Equifax. It was terrible for the American people to have that level of a breach. But obviously, the credit reporting agencies are critically important to our society. I think we talk a lot about income inequality. I think one thing we don't talk enough about is wealth inequality and the effects that having or not even having any access to credit have on an individual's ability to build wealth for their families. I want to go through a quick line of questioning. So if I could summarize sort of the testimony today and the answers from the three gentlemen, the argument I'm hearing a lot of is there are actually more than three of us. I think a lot of us are saying, hey, this is an oligopoly, saying there are actually more than three of us, and we do, in fact, compete aggressively. Would that be a fair characterization?
I'd say it's more than fair.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So quickly, in the last fiscal year, could you each say, and you're all public companies, this isn't proprietary, how much revenue you made as a company last fiscal year?
In global revenue?
U.S.
U.S. is $2.3 billion.
Our global number is $2.3 billion. Let me get back to you on just,
okay.
We have a combination of businesses in the U.S. that
Sure.
we have to add up.
Yep.
Congressman, our global revenue is about $4.8 billion.
Okay. So in the there are more than three of us line of questioning, are there any other domestic competitors that compete anywhere near that scale from a revenue standpoint? Near, let's say, 50%. They come even half as close as you do.
Congressman, I would say there are people in the information business that approach this size of the business. Certainly FICO has a very large business, and they're playing right in the middle of everything we do.
Okay, so so FICO. So basically take that as it's you guys and FICO are in there. So I'll kind of check that as an oligopoly by most definitions. And then we do compete aggressively. Mr. Begor, in your testimony, when you talked about the breach, you said that you were funneling customers to Experian as a result of that breach. Is that roughly what you were saying?
Congressman, I don't recall using the term funneling. For the first year after the data security breach, we provided a credit monitoring service for free for all Americans, including those that were impacted. After the conclusion of that year, we made a decision to voluntarily extend it for another year, and we contracted with Experian to provide that second-year service.
So Experian provided the service. Your competitor provided the service.
Correct, at our expense.
Okay. I come from a variety of backgrounds, but professional football was one of them. Know a little bit about competition. I would suggest that that's not competition when in the way that we typically describe it. And so, to me, I think it's fairly obvious that what this industry needs is a lot of reform, and reform that would inspire more competition, real competition, not the kind where you're scratching each other's back. And that way, I think we can extend credit to more people. So back to the original thing I said on wealth inequality and the ability to extend credit to different communities. In your written testimony, Mr. Gore, you talk about neuro-decision technology as a machine learning technology that you're using to expand credit. Can you talk a little bit, and you can take the remainder of my time, about the success of that program and how you see machine learning playing into the idea of expanding credit to more families?
Sorry. Thank you, Congressman. We're big believers in two things. One is that more data is going to be good for every American. So that's point number one. Point number two is that using technology to access that data, to decision it, to create algorithms is also going to be better for Americans and for the financial services industry. And we've invested heavily in our neurodecisioning technology. It's a patented technology that we got a patent on earlier this year. And it's one that allows a financial services company to really use that to go through various databases, ours, theirs, and third-party databases in order to make decisioning to really help extend credit to more people.
Okay, thank you, and I yield back.